The sound of giggling coming from the bridal suite stopped me cold. I was walking down the hall of the country club to give my future wife her wedding gift, a diamond pendant she had been eyeing for months. We were exactly 30 minutes away from the ceremony. I opened the heavy oak door, and the velvet box slipped from my fingers, hitting the hardwood floor with a dull thud. My bride, Chloe, was half-dressed in her custom silk gown, the bodice pushed down. And my best man, my own older brother, Derek, was frantically pulling his suit pants up, his tie already completely undone. The silence that followed the drop of the box was the loudest sound I have ever heard in my life. The air in the room felt thick, choking me. My brain simply refused to process the geometry of the betrayal standing right in front of me. "Oop." Derek stammered, his face draining of all color. He fumbled with his belt, nearly tripping over his own dress shoes. "Bro, wait. It's not what it looks like." "You're zipping your pants up in my fiancé's dressing room," I said. My voice didn't sound like my own. It sounded hollow, robotic. "It looks exactly like what it is." She was nervous," Derek choked out, stepping backward toward the secondary exit that led to the patio. "It was a mistake. A stupid mistake." "Get out," I whispered. "Oh, please. Get out." I roared, the sound tearing at my throat. Derek didn't hesitate. He practically sprinted out the side door, leaving me alone with the woman I was supposed to pledge my life to in less than half an hour. I turned my gaze to Chloe. I expected tears. I expected her to fall to her knees, to beg for forgiveness, to have a panic attack. Instead, she calmly pulled the bodice of her dress up, reached behind her back, and adjusted the zipper. She walked over to the vanity, picked up a tube of lipstick, and began touching up her mouth in the mirror. "Well," Chloe sighed, pressing her lips together. "That wasn't ideal." I stared at her, my vision blurring at the edges. "Not ideal? Chloe, you were just screwing my brother. My brother. 30 minutes before our wedding." "It was just pre-wedding jitters, OP," she said, turning to face me. She looked breathtakingly beautiful, and it made me nauseous. It was a last hurrah. It meant absolutely nothing, I swear. Derek was just here. It was stress relief. Stress relief. I felt a hysterical laugh bubble up in my chest. "You're insane. You're actually a sociopath. The wedding is off. I'm going out there right now and telling everyone to go home." Chloe's calm demeanor vanished, replaced by a cold, calculating glare. She stepped over the velvet jewelry box on the floor and closed the distance between us. "Are you out of your mind?" she hissed. "My parents paid $40,000 for this reception. Your family flew in from across the country. We have 200 guests sitting in folding chairs on the lawn right now sipping champagne. You are not canceling this." "Watch me," I spat, turning toward the door. She grabbed my arm. Her grip was surprisingly strong. "OP, listen to me. Grow up and get over it. We are walking down that aisle. We will smile, we will take the photos, and we will cut the cake so we don't waste the money. If you're still throwing a tantrum about this next week, we can get a quiet annulment. But we are not humiliating my family today." I looked down at her hand on my arm. Then I looked into her eyes. There was no love there. Just a bridezilla terrified of losing her expensive party. "You want to show?" I asked quietly, pulling my arm out of her grip. "I want you to be a man and handle this privately later," she said, smoothing down her skirt. "Now go fix your tie. The coordinator will be here in 5 minutes." She turned back to the mirror. I bent down, picked up the diamond pendant box, and put it back in my pocket. She wanted to go through with the wedding so she wouldn't be humiliated. She had no idea what humiliation actually looked like. But I was about to show her. I didn't fix my tie. I didn't look back at her reflection in the mirror. I turned on my heel and walked straight out of the bridal suite, the heavy oak door slamming shut behind me. The hallway was buzzing with pre-ceremony chaos. The wedding coordinator, a frantic woman with a clipboard, was standing near the entrance with Chloe's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Davis. My own parents were there too. And standing in the corner, looking like he was about to vomit on the floral carpet, was Derek. "Okay, OP, we need you at the altar in 4 minutes, the coordinator chirped, pointing her pen at me. "Tell the DJ to cut the music," I said, my voice echoing loudly in the narrow hall. "The wedding is cancelled." The coordinator froze. My mother gasped. Mr. Davis stepped forward, his face instantly turning red. "What the hell kind of joke is this, OP?" Before I could answer, the bridal suite door flew open. Chloe burst into the hallway, hiking up the skirt of her custom gown. The cool, calculating demeanor she had just shown me was gone, replaced by a frantic, theatrical panic. "OP, stop," she screamed, lunging toward me. "You can't do this. The guests are waiting. Just marry me for the photos and we can get a quiet divorce later. You're ruining my special day." The silence in the hallway was absolute. Even the coordinator lowered her clipboard. My mother stared at Chloe in horror. "Divorce? Photos? Chloe, what is happening?" I pointed a finger at Derek, who was currently trying to shrink into the wallpaper. "Why don't you ask the best man?" I just walked into the bridal suite to give Chloe a gift and found Derek zipping up his pants while my beautiful bride was half naked. My mother let out a strangled cry and grabbed my dad's arm. My dad turned to Derek, his face thunderous. "Is this true, Derek?" Derek couldn't even make eye contact. He just stared at his polished shoes and gave a microscopic, pathetic nod. "You son of a bitch," my dad growled, stepping toward him. But it was Mr. Davis, Chloe's father, who shocked me the most. Instead of turning his anger on his daughter for her vile behavior, he puffed out his chest and marched right up to me. "I don't care about your petty relationship drama," Mr. Davis shouted, jabbing a thick finger into my chest. "Do you have any idea how much money I spent on this venue? I put down $30,000 for this country club. 30 grand. If you walk out those doors right now, you are cutting me a check for the full amount. You are the one canceling." I stared at him. The apple truly didn't fall far from the tree. Chloe was standing behind him, crying fake tears to garner sympathy from my mother, while her father was trying to bill me for a reception honoring a cheater. "I didn't cancel the marriage," I said, swatting his hand away from my chest. "Your daughter canceled it the second she spread her legs for my brother. Take it up with them. Better yet, since Derek already test drove the bride, maybe he can stand at the altar and take the photos so you don't waste your precious buffet." "You arrogant little punk," Mr. Davis snarled. "I'll sue you for breach of contract. You promised to marry her." "It's a wedding, not a mortgage," I shot back. "I'm leaving, and I'm telling everyone exactly why." I turned away from the horrified families, ignoring Chloe's screeching and my mother sobbing. I didn't head for the parking lot, though. I headed straight for the courtyard, where 200 guests were waiting for a show, and I was going to give them one. I pushed open the heavy double doors leading to the courtyard. The afternoon sun was brilliant. The string quartet was softly playing Pachelbel's Canon. 200 of our closest friends and family members were sitting in rows of white wooden chairs, smiling and murmuring in anticipation. It was a picture-perfect setting for a nightmare. I walked past the floral archway, past the bewildered officiant, and marched straight over to the DJ booth. I grabbed the wireless microphone and switched it on. "Cut the music," I told the DJ. He looked confused but slid the volume down. The sudden silence rippled through the crowd. 200 faces turned to look at me standing alone at the front. "May I have your attention, please?" My voice boomed over the speakers, echoing off the country club walls. "I want to thank you all for traveling so far to celebrate loyalty, love, and commitment. Unfortunately, none of those things are present here today." A low murmur of confusion swept through the audience. I saw my aunt in the second row exchange a worried glance with my uncle. "There will be no wedding," I announced, keeping my voice steady and completely devoid of emotion. Approximately 30 minutes ago, I went to the bridal suite to give my fiancée her wedding gift. Instead, I found her half naked, intimately engaged with my best man, who, as you all know, is my older brother, Derek. The reaction was instantaneous and explosive. Someone dropped a champagne glass. It shattered loudly against the stone patio. Several guests gasped. A chorus of shocked whispers erupted into full-blown shouting. Just then, Chloe burst through the courtyard doors, followed closely by her furious parents and my devastated mother. Chloe's makeup was running down her face. "He's lying." Chloe shrieked into the chaos. "He's having a panic attack. Don't listen to him." But the crowd didn't even have to guess. Derek stumbled out behind them, carrying his suit jacket, his tie missing, looking like a man walking to his own execution. My father marched right behind him, grabbed him by the shoulder, and practically shoved him toward the parking lot. The guilt on Derek's face was a neon sign. "Please enjoy the open bar and the buffet," I said into the microphone. My eyes locked on Chloe's horrified face. Mr. Davis paid $30,000 for it, and Chloe didn't want it to go to waste. "Have a great afternoon." I dropped the MIC on the DJ's table. It landed with a loud thud that fed back through the speakers. I walked straight down the center aisle, passing through a sea of wide-eyed, whispering guests. The lawsuit. Mr. Davis actually had the sheer audacity to have his lawyer send me a demand letter the next week for the $30,000 venue fee. I didn't just ignore it. I hired a vicious litigator. I countersued Chloe for the $18,000 I had personally paid in non-refundable deposits, the photographer, the florist, the rehearsal dinner, and the 2-week honeymoon to Bora Bora. Furthermore, because she refused to give back the $12,000 engagement ring, I sued her for the return of the asset, as the marriage condition was never met. When my lawyer threatened to depose Derek and subpoena the country club's security footage of the hallway to prove timeline and infidelity, Mr. Davis dropped his ridiculous lawsuit. They settled. I got my deposits back, and a courier handed me the ring 2 days later. The aftermath. Chloe is a social pariah. Her bridesmaids dropped her the moment the courtyard announcement was made. Her parents were so deeply humiliated in front of their country club friends that they supposedly cut her off financially. My brother Derek was entirely excommunicated by my parents. They haven't spoken to him since my father threw him into his car that afternoon. As for me, I sold the engagement ring, took the Bora Bora honeymoon money, and bought a cabin by the lake. It's quiet, it's peaceful, and best of all, the only one allowed inside is my dog. He, at least, understands the concept of loyalty.